In this video, you'll learn about what's being called the Walrus Operator. One of the biggest changes in Python 3.8 is the introduction of these assignment expressions. So what does it do? Well, it allows the assignment and the return of a value in the same expression using a new notation. On the left side, you would have the name of the object that you're assigning, and then you have the operator, a colon and an equal sign, affectionately known as the Walrus Operator, as it resembles the eyes and tusks of a walrus on its side. And it's assigning this expression on the right side. So it's assigning and returning the value in the same expression. Let me have you practice with this operator with some code. Throughout this tutorial, when I use a REPL, I'm going to be using this custom REPL called bpython. I'll include links on how to install bpython below this video. So how to use this assignment operator? Let me have you start with a small example. You could have an object named walrus and assign it the value of false, and then you could print it. In Python 3.8, you can combine those two statements into a single statement using the walrus operator. So inside of print, you could say walrus, the new object, and use the operator, the assignment expression, colon equals, and a space, and then say true. That's going to do two things. Most notably, in reverse order, it returned the value true. And then it assigned the value to walrus, and of course the type of bool. So keep in mind, the walrus operator doesn't do anything that isn't possible without it. It only makes certain constructs a bit more convenient and can sometimes communicate the intent of your code more clearly. So let me show you another example. It's a pattern that shows some of the strengths of the walrus operator inside of while loops, where you need to initialize and update a variable. For example, create a new file and name it writesomething.py. So here's writesomething.py. It starts with inputs, which will be a list. So create a list called inputs into an object named current. Use an input statement. So input statement is going to provide a prompt and read a string in from standard input. So the prompt will be this, write something. So when the user inputs that, that'll go into current. So while current is not equal to quit, if the person has not typed quit yet, you're going to take inputs and append the current value. And then here you're asking to write something again. So down here in my terminal, after saving, let's see, make sure it's saved. Okay, now that's saved. So here I could say, hello, welcome, and then finally quit, which then would quit it. So this code isn't ideal. You're repeating the input statement twice, and somehow you need to add current to the list before asking the user for it. So a better solution is going to be to set up maybe an infinite while loop and then use a break to stop the loop. So how would that look? You're going to rearrange this a little bit. Move the while loop up and say while true. And here say if current equals quit, then break. Otherwise, go ahead and append it. So a little different here, but this is a while loop. It's going to continue as long as it doesn't get broken out of by someone typing quit. Okay, running it again. And there you can see it breaking out. Nice. So that code avoids the repetition and kind of keeps things in a more logical order. But there's a way to simplify this, to use that new assignment expression, the walrus operator. In that case, you're going to modify this quite a bit. In fact, here you're going to say while current, and then use that assignment operator to create current, but also, while doing that, check to see that it's not equal to quit. So here, each time that assigns the value to current, and it's returned. So the value can be checked. So while current, assigning the value from the input, and then it's not equal to quit, you're going to append current. Make sure to save, run the code one more time, and it works the same. This moves that test all the way back to the while line where it should be. However, there's a couple things now happening all in one line, and that might take a little more effort to read what's happening and to understand it properly. There are a handful of other examples that you could look into to learn a little more about assignment expressions. I'll include a link to PEP 572 and also a link to the Python docs for version 3.8, both of which include more code examples. So you need to use your best judgment as to when this operator is going to make your code more readable and more useful. In the next video, you'll learn about the new feature of positional-only arguments.